Hello friends, and welcome back to my crafty space. In today's video, I am going to be putting together my February spread for my 2018 Project Life album. For this spread, I did not have a bunch of photos to go through, so I pretty much pulled out as much as I could. So I have a total of 5 photos here, and therefore I'm only going to do one 12 by 12 spread inside of my Project Life album. In addition to the photos that I'm using, I also pulled out a bunch of cards from the 2018 Digital Project Life or Digital Stories by the Month kit from Ali Edwards. So this would have been the February themed one, and that is where these 3 cards came from. This one here is one that I'm throwing in addition, and this was just from the Storytelling Basics Stories by the Year card collection as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put you on fast forward while I work on getting my title card done. And then I also need to go through some of my embellishments to pull some things out and see what I can use on this month's spread for, for this album from my stash. So that's what we're going to do here. So I'll go ahead, put you on fast forward, and then when I get everything done, we will slow back down. Getting started with this month's spread, the first thing I'm going to do here is work on my title card. I'm going to do that this time before I get everything set into the place where I want it to go inside of the spread itself, just because I feel like it'll be easier since I don't have everything in the way right now. So I'm going through a bunch of my different label stickers. I have them located in a container up at the top of my desk. It's just, these are a product I use all the time, so I like to keep them right within arm's distance from where I'm working. So I have grabbed over a bunch of my Stories by the Month February stamp sets, and one of them says February looks like this. I thought that would be a really great sentiment to stamp as a title card so that we know that this is all about February, but I don't necessarily have specific dates. It's just working with the whole month all in one go. I ultimately decide to use this silver label sticker. This is one from Ali Edwards from an older One Little Word kit. Usually whenever Ali has her label stickers on sale or as add-ons or anything like that, I always buy a bunch of them because, again, I just use them over and over and over again. There are a few of the sizes or shapes that I like better than the others, but I definitely find a way to use them all. So I grabbed over my Stays On black ink in order to stamp the sentiment onto that label. These ones are a bit slicker. They're like the material that the label sticker is made out of is just, it's just a little bit smoother and slicker than the ones that they have currently come out with, which are more of a paper texture and easier for ink to soak into them. So for this one, I used the Stays On because I knew that I needed something that would be stickier and that would ultimately stay on a little bit better with that particular label. Now that we have that done, I stuck it right into the middle of the patterned heart cards there, or heart card there. And then I'm going to go ahead and set the rest of my photos and my journaling into the place where I want them to go. From here, I didn't really have a super big plan of how I wanted to embellish this. So first I pulled out a bunch of my heart chipboard stickers that you can see there. These are just ones I have in my stash, and I'm going to see if I have any that I like here. I also pulled out this little square box where I've got a bunch of my ephemera pieces or embellishments that have different textures. So that's where I keep things like my plastic hearts or felt pieces or canvas pieces or patches, and all those types of things go into that little box because I like to look through texture, and it's nice to have them all in one little spot that I can just pull over and go through it to see if anything works for me. So what I'm thinking about doing, since I have found a couple of the chipboard hearts that I like, is possibly grabbing out some of these plastic hearts to stick on that bottom photo. I grabbed out a yellow one and a grayish colored one. I may have already gotten out a pinkish colored one too. But basically what I'm trying to do is find a color pattern that I like with the rest of this spread. Basically this spread is red and pink and green. I really wish I would have had a green plastic heart, but I didn't, because I think that that would have been really pretty to bring in some more of that color, especially from the floral card there at the top. That's probably one of my very favorite journaling cards from any of the February stories by the month. I really, really, really like the rose there at the top. So eventually I am going to rest on this right here, which is an acetate or plastic heart with a heart chipboard piece on top. A lot of times when I'm working with layering my embellishments like that, where I've got the plastic texture underneath and then the chipboard texture on top, what I'll do is take the backing off of the chipboard piece and then stick it onto the plastic heart and stick that onto the photo. That way I don't have to use a staple or anything like that. It just, the chipboard piece is what is holding the plastic heart on, which we'll get there here in just a little bit. Another embellishment that I thought about adding here is some tiny phrase stickers. So I'm debating on using white with black text, or I was trying to see if any of those green would work as well, because again, I was hoping to bring in a little bit more green to this spread, but I think one of them, just the sentiments weren't right at all, and the other one, the green, was an off green. It just didn't go very well with the rest of the colors in this spread, so I decided against it. Then I'm going to go through a bunch of extra labels that I have. These are from various other kits. Just when I get down to having one or two, I chop them up and then stick them in the front of my container with all of my label stickers in it. And then I like to go through it every once in a while to see if I can use some of them up. Plus, then a lot of them have some different colors to them as well. I believe I don't actually end up using any of the label stickers. I think I will end up putting those back and coming up with a different solution instead. While I'm working on getting this embellished, let me just talk you through some of the pictures that I have here. As I said in the beginning, I really didn't have a lot of pictures to go through for the month of February. I had a couple from Valentine's Day. So there's the one of my daughter right underneath the title card. And the picture right under that, the 4x6 with the hedgehogs and some Valentine's goodies, those were a gift that my aunt and my uncle had sent through the mail to my daughter for Valentine's Day, and I thought it was so sweet when they did that. So we snapped some pictures, and I've got her opening that up and enjoying her Valentine's gift. Then the photo that I just stuck a heart chipboard onto is a picture of Isabella and her great-grandma, so my husband's grandmother. And we like to visit them fairly regularly. And for that photo, she was working on making an apple pie, his grandma, and Izzy decided she wanted to go help. So his grandma, who we call Tita, she welcomed Izzy in and had her help her, and they were rubbing butter all over the pie and doing all this fun stuff. So it was just a really sweet moment, and I'm so glad I have that photo that I can document. I told another story with the same photo for a class I taught, and I blew it up to be this giant picture, and I adore it. Then up at the top, I've got a random photo of Izzy riding on one of the horses in a local Meijer store. Meijer is a grocery store here in the state of Michigan. And they have the horses that you can ride for a penny. And then the very bottom photo is like a dun dun dun. Our basement flooded in February, so it would have been about 4 months after we moved into our house. Our sump pump failed, and we had gotten a snowstorm followed by a rainstorm, and just all the water killed it. So we didn't know. We got home, went down in the basement, found it was flooded, and then had to go from there. All right, friends, that finishes my spread for today. This one came together fairly quickly once I figured out what embellishments I wanted to add on to it. And I am really happy to have all of these stories documented, even though they are, somewhat smaller stories for an entire month span of time, but that's okay. I am especially glad to have this one documented, which is the story of Izzy and her great-grandma baking a pie together. I think that was just a really special photo to capture, and I'm really glad to have it in here. So, that's one of the joys of going back and doing some of these older albums, is being able to revisit these photos and these moments in time that we have forgotten since then because so much time has gone by. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed seeing this spread come together. I will be back again next week with the next spread in this album, which will be the month of March. We have the month of March, April, and May, and then we start to get into the weekly spreads because that's when I actually started to scrapbook again. So I've got more photos to work with starting in the month of June. All right, friends, until next time, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will catch you all in the next video. Bye, friends.